Hello everyone, welcome back to another Technique Tuesday equipment series. This week we're going to be talking about the pull buoy. So the pull buoy is a great tool for upper body isolation. It neutralizes the legs so you can focus on 100% of your mental and physical energy going into the front end of your stroke. So all of your brain power and all of your energy is being spent on the pull, the catch and the exit. So you're just focusing on what your arms are doing, and the pull buoy is there to keep the legs up without having to kick. So, pull buoy, it looks like a figure-8 foam float that we place high between the thighs. It provides enough buoyancy to keep your hips and legs at the surface without the need to kick, which allows you to swim using only your arms. So we can put all of our effort into what our arms are doing, make sure we're nailing that technique, and we're making sure that we're nailing those pulling mechanics in the water. So why do we use a pull buoy? It isolates the lats, shoulders and triceps, which makes it a great strength tool in the water. So because we're not doing any kicking, you're only pulling, and all of the muscles that work to make that pull happen in the water are going to get stronger, because rather than your body having any help from the legs to be able to swim, we're relying only on our upper body strength and upper body movement to be able to swim through the water. Body position training, so it helps keep your hips nice and high, so you can get into that position of an elite swimmer where we're thinking about having head, hips and heels nice and high, breaking the surface of the water, so you can teach your brain what a good horizontal streamlined profile feels like. Basically, if you stick the pull buoy in, it's going to help lift your hips up, which is usually what most people struggle with, and artificially put you in the position that you should be in. Now, this is where people fall short or get stuck using the pull buoy, is they rely on this too much. So although it puts you in a good position of what an elite swimmer feels like, and it does teach your brain what that good position feels like, where people fall off is they overtrain with the pull buoy, rather than, once they've got that feeling and they've taught the brain how it should feel, to remove the pull buoy and try and replicate it independently without an over reliance on the equipment. Stroke mechanics, so we don't need to kick for balance, so we can slow down our stroke, try and perfect that early vertical forearm that we've talked about in all of the drill series, and our hand entry. So we're trying just to work on having that perfect pull, basically getting the most out of our arms, being the most efficient and the most effective with our pulling mechanics. An active recovery, it could allow you to continue swimming while giving the legs a break, especially after heavy run or bike sessions. So rather than feeling like my legs are too tired, I'm going to skip the swim today, you could use the swimming as active recovery to actually keep moving, keep developing stroke mechanics, keep developing awareness in the water, keep developing body position without adding any extra fatigue onto the legs. So the placement, we want to put the buoy high up in between our thighs, keeping our legs squeezed together to hold it in place. We don't want to let our feet or legs split outward, because then we'll lose the pull buoy. We're quiet kick, so we're aiming to have our legs completely still, but it's normal for a small involuntary toe flicker to happen, and that just helps you to maintain rhythm, because you spend so much time swimming and drilling in that we need to kick and we need to use our legs, that when we then use the pull buoy and try and stop kicking, it's actually quite hard, because we're in the habit of using our full body as one unit and using our arms and legs to move through the water. So a normal kick, little kick is fine. We don't want to be getting any active propulsion, so we're not kicking as if we would do when we're swimming normally with the pull buoy in. We're trying to minimize that kicking action as much as possible, so we can just focus on the arms and let the pull buoy do the work in keeping the legs up. Core engagement, so even with the pull buoy, we must keep our core engaged, otherwise our upper body will be up nice and high because we're still pulling, our hips will be up nice and high because of the pull buoy, and our spine could then arch. So we need to make sure that we're engaged through the core so we can stay neutral and streamlined. we want to rotate, so we're focusing on rotating our shoulders and hips as one unit. So left shoulder forward, right hip back, right shoulder forward, left hip back. We're making sure that we're moving as one unit and we're including and incorporating our whole body in the pull. The pull buoy should rotate with you, so we don't want to be just rotating through the shoulders and our hips stay still. We want that pull buoy to come with us and allow us to move freely through the water. And the catch, so we're going to use that stability provided by the pull buoy to reach forward and hook the water nice and early, pulling straight back past the hip, which again we've talked about in that drill series. So thinking about using the arms as relaxed hooks to actually pull with the lats and use those big back muscles that are much stronger than our shoulders and arms. And then trying to pull back until our thumb glances our hip, so we're finishing off our stroke right at its very end point. So where do we use a pull buoy? We can use it in skill sets to either drill technique in terms of the arms and the stroke mechanics, or skill sets in terms of alignment to get that body position right with head, hips, and heels nice and high. It neutralizes the legs so you can slow down the stroke to fix the mechanics, like focusing on hand entry or focusing on catch without your hips sinking. So basically, you can focus on your pulling, you can do the drills and do the coaching points that we've mentioned, but more chance to think because we're not having to think about kicking. It's one less thing to worry about. Strength sets, so we can combine the pull buoys with paddles for a high load work, ideally for 100 to 200 meter repeats, which are going to help build muscular endurance and pull strength. And this is the best way to develop strength, swim specific strength, because we're actually developing strength and putting extra resistance on the swimming muscles actually swimming, rather than trying to develop strength for the swim in the gym, for example, where there is some crossover, but it's not as specific as actually creating resistance whilst doing the full stroke. And in the main set for aerobic capacity, so just developing your fitness and your cardiovascular endurance, it's best for long distance efforts, 400 meter plus. It lowers metabolic cost because we're not having to kick, so it's not costing us as much energy to do these 400 meter repeats as it would do with full swim. And it allows you to focus on keeping an efficient, low heart rate and an effective rhythm. Hopefully that helps anyone. As always, if we need anything, drop me a message. See you next week.